bit, Jeff. Should we get started?
Sure.
Excellent. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the 2021 NSAA Winter Trade Show, or Winter Conference and Trade Show, I should say. Well, we'd all love to be in person. We certainly appreciate your time and your interest in joining us. And we've got a great kickoff event to get us started before we roll into our opening keynote with Abdel Aziz. And these industry spotlights are a great way for us to recognize our sponsors, companies like Burton, who have been supporters of NSAA for a long time. And I'd like to introduce Kiana Smith with NSAA to introduce the session.
Well, it's always hard to follow Earl, but I'll do my best. Hi, all. I'm Kiana Smith, NSAA's Director of Strategic Partnerships, and it is our distinct pleasure to welcome you to the kickoff of winter shows. I don't think we could have asked for a better leadoff pole position here with Jeff and Burton. Our first industry spotlight session comes to us from Burton, where they have pioneered the sport of snowboarding and grown a global community passionate about the sport. As many of you know Jeff personally, it will come as zero surprise that there are a couple surprises sprinkled throughout this presentation, so you'll want to pay special attention to what they've put together here. And since you didn't tune in to hear the NSAA team speak, I'm going to hand it right over to Jeff. Jeff, take it away.
Thank you, Kiana, and thanks, Earl. And I also want to thank Kelly and the whole National Ski Areas Association crew for providing this platform. It's very valuable, and like Kiana, you said, Burton has been a supporter of the NSAA for many years, and we truly value the partnership and collaboration. My name's Jeff Boliba, and I am the Vice President of Sport and Participation for Burton Snowboards. And today, I'm going to give you an inside glimpse to Burton and my experience and journey at Burton, along with where the brand's heading. So hop on to your virtual bonfire or grab a chair and let's take a peek at the worldwide brand that built a sport. How does a sport get created? It's a great question. And I love this picture because this truly embodies snowboarding and the fun and the camaraderie and the culture and the community that it creates. Before we get into Burton, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a husband and a father. I'm a 3-sport coach. I've worked for Burton for 20 years. I am, like I mentioned, the Vice President of Sport and Participation. So most days I'm working on things all the way from a newbie learning how to participate to the highest level of progression for the sport worldwide. And for those of you who are wondering, my spirit animal, I'm an eagle, and on the predictive index test, I'm a venturer. So it was December of 1985 when I first strapped in, and it was a friend I met in high school who turned me on to the snurfer, and then on this very special day, took me to Boreal, and you can actually see his homemade board there. He made this board in Irvington High School in Fremont, California, where we grew up. I rented this Sims board, and that board was way too big, way too stiff. So I ended up switching boards with him halfway through this first day. And no doubt did this change my life forever. So a little bit more about me. I grew up in California, played a lot of baseball growing up, skateboarding, snowboarding, used to work for Stanford Distribution Center, and had a boss who asked me one time, "Hey, Jeff, what are you going to do with your career?" And I said, "Wow, that's a great question. I have no idea." And he said, "Well, don't you love snowboarding?" And he made a suggestion to me that I go work for a resort. And so he connected me to Purgatory. And I ended up transferring from San Jose State to Fort Lewis College, which truly, once again, set my path in motion. But I'll never forget, I worked for Niles Ski and Bike in high school, and we took a trip, a snowboarding trip to Utah. This is 97, and the first stop we made was Alta. only to find out that they didn't allow snowboarding. So we just went right down the road to snowboard and had a baller day and awesome introduction to Utah. And I ended up, after I graduated high school, worked at Brighton for a year. But I'll never forget when I was an intern at Fort Lewis College, working for Purgatory. Fort Lewis allowed me to do a student constructed major focused on the resort business. And so while an intern in marketing, I used to watch the facts because that's how you got the latest intelligence. And comes through and it says Park City and Alpine Meadows opening to snowboarding next winter. And I was getting ready to graduate in about a month. And so I decided, you know what, hey, I'm packing up the Bronco. I'm going to head to Park City. If I don't get a job there, I'll just go to Alpine. If I don't get a job there, boom, I'll go home. And that set my path to working at Park City, where I listened to a number of people over the summer talking about how snowboarding was going to be really hard at Park City and everything else. But what a journey it's been. Actually, at Park City was when I first started working for Burton, because we had a lot of out-of-town guests from Southern California that would come, and they were families and they had kids that stood sideways and they wanted to snowboard. So in working with Burton, we were able to create a number of things to accommodate these young skateboarders and surfers who wanted to stand sideways and snowboard. So that was 96 when I joined Park City. And for those of you who can't tell, this little dude right here, that's Sean White. So we came up with the concept. I was buying ski boots from Play It Again Sports, grinding down the front, doing whatever we could to create a snowboarding experience, because at the time, there was not any manufacturer making snowboard gear small enough for the kids we were trying to teach. And so we entered the Chopper Center, which was a concept that I came up with using trampolines and different experiences to give them a kind of pseudo snowboarding experience before we actually had the appropriate gear. Well, Burton, I talked to them about this concept. They backed it, and I asked if we could have an athlete come out, and sure enough, Sean White comes out. I talked to his dad. This is Roger right here, and Sean's sister, and they had never been stoked out at a resort. So we put them slopeside in a condo, and we had what we called the Chopper Center Rally. And this is Dave Downing right here. Awesome mentor to our younger athletes. He's still a brand ambassador. But that set my path forward to Burton. And at that point is when I met my mentor. And it was awesome. Like my first days at Burton, Jake, getting a chance to work with him. I got to sponge off him from everything from teaching snowboarding to about the industry to product development. I mean, he was so pro. And at first I learned, holy shit, I got to come into these meetings way more dialed, because he'll tear you apart in a good way. And especially when it came to product design, he could just analyze things so fast. And not only that, he always had an eye to the future. So he would get back from trips and call me in the office and say, Jeff, hey, I saw this in Europe, or I saw this happening in Asia or in the Americas. And so everything from developing learning programs, teaching people how to teach, designing stash runs, you name it. I really enjoyed soaking and learning from him. So the history, let me introduce you to my friend Sherman Poppin. I got the best opportunity to meet Sherman in Alaska during the Trans World Snowboarding Conference many years ago in 2002 at Alyeska Resort. And he had watched me present my story about Park City and opening to snowboarding for the first time. And we built a relationship, and I was thankful to have known him for a number of years before he passed away. But he is the true godfather of snowboarding. And he did tell me in 1965, when he was at home and the kids were going nuts, he had already taken them in the front yard to go skiing, and mom was trying to get some rest. I think she was sick or trying to cook dinner. And Sherm got the idea to nail two skis together. You can actually see it right down here, and had them stand sideways. And and he just, a light bulb went off. He's like, wow, there's something to this. And so for Sherm, he thought, wow, this is a cool toy. This is like a super fun backyard thing. And so that was how it got started. And from there, Jake started playing around on the Snurfer. He always, there's a number of interviews you could listen to him. And in the end of this presentation, for more information, I have a section with some links, and you should really listen to the NPR interview he has from 2017, and he talks about all of this. It's really incredible, but he was waiting for Brunswick to develop it into a sport, and he kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and he finally said, you know what, maybe they're not going to do it, so I'm going to do it. And so he started to put metal edges on the Snurfer and started to truly improve upon it, because he knew it could be a sport. And that was the day things changed, and Jake was the true pioneer of snowboarding as a sport. So we're very thankful to be a privately held company, and Jake and Donna, just a force, right? Like, I think few company leaders can rival them, and the community that they've helped foster and create around the world is absolutely incredible. And I can tell you, when I travel around the world for Burton, we always have a family member. Doesn't matter where. There's someone who's connected to snowboarding, who knows the local scene, who truly is a snowboarder and really connects the world to us. And it's really powerful. Jake always had a passion for progression, always. And I mean, ever since he was driving around in his car, trying to sell boards, lobbying for resorts to open to snowboarding, he always had progression on the mind. And ever since I met him at the US Open in the 90s, and then from my first day at Burton in 2000, he would push for progression. And it was just a passion that was inside him that just every day in the office, he brought it. All right, so Burton's brand evolution, this is fascinating to me. You can see in 1979, when the first mountain logo was created, you can see then its iteration to 81, 83, and then I took a snapshot of the different logos that we've had over the years, and this isn't even all of them. There was a moment in time where we felt like, hey, the snow's now going away. We need to, change our, come back looking different. And it's pretty wild to think of all the different Burton logos we've had over the years. But in 2021 now, we're building on the equity of the two iconic identities, carrying the best features of both forward. So if you look down here, you can see the mountain with the type logo connected together. And this is what we're sticking with for the future. And I'm really excited about that, because it's got such deep history and heritage, and the modern updates that have been made to it look really killer. So in '98 Olympics hit snowboarding, right? And no one called Jake, no one called our company, and Jake and our crew show up and they spelled snowboarding wrong. And Jake was really bummed. And then the second major thing that happened was it was pouring rain, downpouring. And so they canceled the ski alpine events, but didn't cancel the snowboarding events. So those first snowboarders had to compete in the half pipe, just downpouring rain. And but that was a monumental day, right? Like, snowboarding hit the Olympics. Some people like it, some people don't. But for right or wrong, it was now an Olympic sport. So Burton, I'm excited to hear the keynote address after this. I think it blends in well with our company because, Burton, we are a purpose-led brand rooted in snowboarding in the mountains. I mean, we always have been, we always will be. And this is our reason for being. This is why we do what we do. And if you look at that shot, it's so rad. Like, powder days like that, I think, is what we all who are enthusiasts and major fans live for and love. And just the spirit and freedom and fun that just visualizes for me, puts a smile on my face every time. So let's take a look at this. We fight for the future of our sport, people, and planet. So these are some of our principles, and we stay focused on these. We are not wavering, and we truly like to take a stance. And we believe, like, if you look at any snowboarder has their own stance, and we know that there's certain things we want to lobby for and we want to fight for, and it's really important to the DNA of our company. We bring the spirit of riding to life 365. So in everything we do, not just snowboarding, but the way we live, the things we do outside of snowboarding, it's really a way of life that is ingrained into the fabric and the culture of Burton, and it's pretty amazing when you get to experience it. We have as much fun as possible. I like to say Jake was our captain of fun, and when we had good winters and sales and things were great, he would say, you know what, let's do a global sales meeting. So we would embark on like Valle Nevado Resort in Chile, or Whistler Blackcomb in Canada, or Copper in Colorado. And you would get this entire snowboarding family coming together in one location. And it was really powerful. And we definitely miss him. And we're committed to carrying on his spirit, because he really did love to have as much fun. And then we ride together. We show up together, we elevate one another, and we strive to make the mountains more inclusive. And that's you've seen this year some of our campaigns on social and digital. This is something you'll see us continue to push in a number of different ways. In 2019, we became a certified B Corporation, and that was awesome. And in Donna's words, she said, we're going to be a force for good, in not only in snowboarding, but in all the facets we live and play in. And that was a big move, it's not easy to become a B Corporation, and we're very proud of that. And it really has embarked us on a number of different things that we're now taking on. And you really shine a light on some of your weaknesses when you're going through this process. And we're very proud of this. And yeah, so exciting. That was a great day. So in 1995, Jake and Donna started Chill. And, I was on the Chill board of directors for 6 years. I have taught a number of Chill kids how to snowboard. And, I would show up to, typically it would be Bolton, where they've hosted our Chill program for so many years, and we thank them for that. And as along with a number of other resorts around the world that support Chill. But when I would show up, they would typically give me someone who was, having a hard time snowboarding, and I would always get the toughest assignment, but it was always the most rewarding too, because I could usually figure out a way to get them linking turns and to get them smiling. And that is just awesome. And I can tell you, Donna is still very passionate about this. And it's so cool to see how resorts are communicating, how they're activating, and how they're embracing this program, because it truly is one of a kind and something that has been with us for many years. So thank you to all those Chill Mountains who support us and collaborate with us, because it really does serve a lot of youth that typically would not have the opportunity. And if you've never seen it, if you go to the Chill website, the 3 things we promote: ride, inspire, lead. And when these kids go on this 6-week program, on the bus ride up to the mountain, they learn about the different values of the day, and they talk about it on the bus ride up, they apply it on snow, and then they're able to debrief on the way back down. So it's amazing, and probably something we don't talk about enough. Our sustainability goals, this was a couple years ago when we put it on our website. We threw it out there. We said, you know what? Hey, we're going to commit to this. So let's make it public, and let's have everyone live by it. And, one of the taglines we've used is climate change is the single biggest threat to our lifestyle as snowboarders. And so we want to save the earth so we can surf the earth. And, once again, in the for information section of this presentation at the end, you can go on to the blog post that I have hyperlinked and check out our progress to these sustainability goals that we set for 2020, because we're tracking really well, and we're always looking to the future. And it's great when you make this kind of progress and you are able to contribute. It's really rewarding. And once again, that is just a part of our DNA, and it has been for a long time. And we look forward to continuing the momentum. JEDI. For us, that's justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And, Burton is embarking on a long-term journey for this. And we're going to weave it into our company culture, into the culture of snowboarding, into our customers. And, we have hired external help to help us with this. And, the good thing about snowboarding is it's always been somewhat inclusive. I mean, from the first start of snowboarding, when you had the little throwback boards and the snurfers, you could do it in the backyard. It really, I think, has always attracted a more affordable opportunity. And even listening to Jake's interview, I listened to it a number of times last weekend. He talks about how when he first, started making his early protos, he wasn't thinking they were going to be ridden at the resort. He was just looking for a cheaper solution to skiing that could be fun in the backyard, or fun on a golf course, or fun anywhere where there was snow. And then obviously he saw, wow, this is really taking off. This is powerful, and it has legs and can be a sport. And that's when he started to shift gears and focus on that. But, once again, we're committed to confronting systemic racism and increasing equity representation for all people in our sport and outdoor spaces and our society. So check out the Burton blog. Once again, that link will be in there if you want to learn more. So this right here is a video about Jake, and it was done at the US Open. And it interviewed a number of riders from all around the world, not just Burton riders, but some of the best in the world who come to compete. And it's them talking about Jake as we were leading up to the Day for Jake event.
If snowboarding wasn't here, I don't know what the hell I'd be doing, honestly. It's pretty crazy to think about that. I don't know what it's like to not have snowboarding, because I started when I was 3.
I started doing it when I was 2 years old.
13.
From 9 to 10 years old, it was all about snowboarding.
Since I started, I never stopped thinking about it, and I will never stop thinking about it.
My job is snowboarding, my passion is snowboarding.
Pretty much almost everyone that I know or hang out with is probably a snowboarder.
It definitely is your lifestyle and the people you surround yourself with.
I honestly couldn't imagine a life without snowboarding anymore, because
it's everything I know, everything I am.
I'm so proud of myself to be a snowboarder.
Jake had a legendary impact on snowboarding.
And I think Pat Bridges said it best when he says that Jake is the most influential snowboarder of all time. Not only because he was a pioneer, but because of the dedication he stuck with.
I have conversations with people that I've never met before, and they're telling me how important Jake was in their life.
First time I met Jake, he was super nice and friendly, and didn't feel like that person who would own a big company.
He was always so positive and just so happy and always teasing you. And
his passion for innovating and for seeing how things can work in a new light was something that I was so inspired by when I first met him.
Jake just poured his whole life into creating something that is going to last forever.
The US Open is special to so many of us because we did get to share that with him.
Jake's vibe at the Open every year is just super energetic.
He had big energy, he was hyped.
He represented this contest in a good way of always having fun and putting snowboarding first.
Jake loved the US Open, but it was not just about the contest, it was about hanging out with everyone.
We don't have his exact presence, but his presence is all over this place, and I think it's going to be a special one.
Life is unfair. You should still be here snowboarding with us because that's what you deserved.
Snowboarding is like a way of life, I guess, and it gives people so much.
If I could send a message to Jake right now, I would just be insanely thankful.
He's made my life and so many of my best friends' lives amazing.
Thank you for making snowboarding what it is today.
We're just living the dream out here, riding powder and parks and on this piece of plank, you know?
His legacy will continue to live on through all the snowboarders.
We're going to be Burton for life.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
谢谢 Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks so much, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Jake, and thanks, snowboarding.
Thank you, Jake, for everything. Miss the shit out of you.
Snowboarding wasn't here.
So, gosh, that one always gets me, and just incredible. And when you hear those riders from all around the world talk about it, it really brings it to life. And that's why, thanks to the NSAA, they're allowing me to give a couple awards today. And these awards echo the evolution and spirit of Jake, Donna, and Burton. And we have 3 awards to give out: Passion for Progression, Breaking Down Barriers, and Diversity and Inclusion. And this first one we're going to give out, it's unbelievable how much commitment you will see from that first level, entry level participant, all the way up to the highest level professional athlete. Doesn't matter if they're a snowboarder, skier, biker, I mean, you name it. It's truly innovation at its best. Burton hasn't enjoyed an innovation partnership with them many years. And actually, I cut my teeth with Powder Corp in the late 90s working at Park City. And I want to give a big congratulations to Powder and Woodward for this Passion for Progression Award, because I want to say Woodward is now 50 years in the making. And if you've watched what they've been doing, this latest edition at Woodward Park City is incredible. Gunny, I think we have Gunny and Tim who are going to join us, but not only at Woodward Park City, but also you'll find the Woodward Mountain Parks at Eldora, Boreal, Copper, Killington, Mount Bachelor. So I think now I'd love to have Gunny or Tim join us to say a few words.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you guys can see me, but it's Gunny here. Wow, Jeff, that was a great presentation. That I've seen that video. That also gets me. But I've got this box here. It says, "Where everyone wins," and so I think that embodies what you were talking about. This isn't about an individual award. It's about how we can all win through progressing the sport, making the experiences incredible. So I want to thank you, Jeff, everybody at Burton and NSAA for this Passion for Progression Award, to Powder and Woodward. And I want to make sure I recognize the folks at Powder that make this possible. Tim, who's on here right now, John Cumming and the Cumming family, as well as our leadership team with Wade and Justin. And most importantly, all the teams that are different resorts that you just mentioned: Eldora, Boreal, Copper, Killington, Mount Bachelor, and Woodward Park City, for truly embracing what it means to keep pushing our sports forward, getting people stoked, and it's all about progression. So thanks, guys.
Yes. Awesome. Well, it's well deserved. And, we thank you for enabling this type of progression. Once again, not just for the elite level athletes, but from that newbie. And for those of you who have not checked out Woodward Park City, check it out, because it is inviting, and it's really breaking down some barriers. And we love we love to see that, and we thank you for that. So keep up the good work. All right, next award, Breaking Down Barriers. So the American Association of Snowboard Instructors, Burton has been partnered with them since their inception, over 20 years. And it's incredible what they continue to do to help break down barriers, not just for your regular rider, but for kids. Like, we pushed hard 5 years ago to really break the myth that kids couldn't snowboard first. And AASI truly helped us with some myth-busting videos, with their national team showing us how to teach young kids, and continued efforts. So that's been really big for the sport and helped us around the world. And our latest venture, which I'm really excited to tell you all about, is adaptive snowboarding. And we've been, this is something that it's not new. AASI has been focused on this for a while. Burton has actually been modifying gear for adaptive riders for many years. But what is new is a partnership to create an adaptive manual, some e-learning courses, some training opportunities. And so I'm really excited for that venture. And I want to say congratulations to ASI. And I believe we have Christina and Eric on, who are going to say a few words.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for that amazing journey into Burton and snowboarding. That was a moving presentation. I'm very honored to accept this really giant award. It's huge. So thank you so much. I'm honored to accept Breaking Down Barriers Award on behalf of AASI. And the partnership between AASI and Burton has really pushed the sport of snowboarding through the work of the Snowboard National Demo Team with developing children's snowboarding, and now through this project between Burton, AASI, and Western Colorado University that is bringing more adaptive resources to the snowboard community, ensuring everyone has the opportunity to slide on snow, and that people just are more aware that that's an option for them. So many individuals have been a critical part of this project, and this award also recognizes their important contribution to adaptive snowboarding. So thank you to everyone that's been involved, and thank you so much for this great award.
Yeah, on behalf of the entire Aussie team, and this includes previous Aussie teams, Jeff, we go way back, and
yes,
it's such an honor to be a part of this award. It's through the collaboration with Burton that we've been able to make an even bigger impact on diverse populations in snow sports. So thank you so much for all the support that Burton's given us to have that reach. Really appreciate it.
Heck yeah, Rosie. And I see Dave on there too. Dave is really our main contact at ASI, and him and Nick have really broke down some opportunities for us to collaborate. So Dave, once again, thanks so much. Congratulations. Right on. All right. You got it, Dave. Okay, next award is diversity and inclusion. And when this project first started coming about, it was definitely a risk. And, I've enjoyed a relationship and a partnership working with this crew for many years. And Big Snow American Dream is something that, oh boy, once again, this is another one where if you're not paying attention to what's happening there, whoa, you got a lot to check out, and you will be amazed. I tell you, every time I've gone, I'm taking notes, I'm listening, I'm learning. It's fabulous. And Joe and Hugh and the rest of the Big Snow crew that I see there live, and yeah, congratulations.
Hey Jeff, it's Joe Hessian here. Just wanted to thank you so much. Amazing presentation. And Burton for all of the creative stuff that we've been able to do together that I really think enhances lives, which is what it's all about. I also just want to, say that, we're really proud of this recognition. For us, diversity and inclusion has not been an initiative. It's truly part of our DNA. because of the blessing we have of where we're located in the world. We have an amazing team. We have amazing guests. We're so lucky for our amazing New Jersey roots and all the culture and opportunities it allows us to be part of. If I'm being honest, this year's not been easy for a lot of our team. I'm thankful for the people that I've gotten to learn and listen to, and very thankful for all the people that have really enhanced my life to become a better person. So, sorry. I think we have to point out that systemic racism is real in our communities, our country, and absolutely our industry. I challenge each of you to listen, learn, and try to make a difference. So thank you so much. I've learned so much this year, and thank you to our team. You guys are amazing.
Yes. Yeah, once again, like, hats off to this crew. I mean, just some of the stats we pulled, there's many more, but guest makeup is from populated urban areas with more than 50% Black, Indigenous, and people of color. 70% of these guests are choosing to stand sideways. And Big Snow's team is one of the most ethnically diverse in all of the resort business. And so you combine that with the ability to bring someone in who's cruising through the mall, maybe going to the DreamWorks water park or the Nickelodeon theme park and try snowboarding. It's effing incredible. And thank you so much for the continued innovation. I mean, you've seen innovation out of these guys with terrain-based learning and other things, but this one I think is making an impact, and it's going to reverberate around the world. I have no doubt.
Thank you, Jeff.
And I wanted to also thank Vail Resorts, specifically Stowe Mountain Resort and Vail Mountain. Those were two Jake's, obviously Jake lived near Stowe, right in Moscow, and his home away from home was Vail. And they named a run after Jake at each of the mountains. So we're very, very thankful. And then I also want to thank Boyne Resorts, Powder, Alterra, Big Snow, and Snow Operating for supporting the Day for Jake event that we did March 13th last year. Despite all the COVID challenges, we were still able to make that happen. And I'm sure there was a number of other resorts that helped support it. So thank you if you were involved in helping us carry on the spirit of Jake. And we are going to continue doing that. This year's will be a digitally focused event, and we're trying to inspire engagement and participation. So print assets will become available February 3rd, and then you'll see on a dayforjake.com, that website will be updated on the 10th. And we're planning on, once again, to have this event on March 13th. You're going to see a lot of digital tools. Of course, because of COVID, we can't promote big in-person events. However, you'll see a number of tools where if you want to customize your own type of experience at your resort and help us celebrate Jake, that will be possible. So once again, I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity, National Ski Areas Association, and for everyone paying attention and tuning in. It's been my honor and pleasure. And yeah, greetings from snowy Vermont. We're getting dumped on, and tomorrow morning I'm going riding, so I'm very thankful.
Thanks, Jeff. Send some snow out our way. The West has gotten it, the East has gotten it, and now we need it in the central U.S. Great job. Thanks for that.
You got it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. We will see you in the next session for our keynote.